Hello, I am Dr. Anissa Gara from National Institute of Agronomy of Tunisia. I will participate at the ICSAE-7 conference in Indonesia, August 2020, with my oral presentation entitled Relationship between Sustainability and Size of Farmlands in Mornag Zone, Tunisia. In the field of agriculture, the scientific community has followed studies on methods and tools to meet the growing need to assess agricultural farm situation and therefore to judge the degree of their sustainability. In this study, the IDEA method, which is Farm Sustainability Assessment Method, was used to meet this objective at Mornag area in Tunisia. This detailed analysis, based on the factor farmland size, allowed to identify the characteristics of the different groups of farms. We have three groups of farms. Small farms whose area is less than 10 hectares, medium farms whose area is between 10 and 50 hectares, and large farms whose area is more than 50 hectares. And the adaptation strategies for agricultural sustainability upon three scales related to the IDEA method, which are agroecological scale, socio-territorial scale, and economical scale. In order to obtain the main results, let's start with the agroecological scale results. The agroecological scale is composed of three components: diversity component in green color, organization of the space component in yellow color, and agricultural practices component in blue color. The three components are of equal importance. The lowest scores are noted for small farms. As for the diversity component, the larger the farm, the more diversified the production system. Farmland size is therefore an important factor to consider in this component. Now let's move to the second component, organization of the space, colored in yellow. The component organization of the space expresses the ability to manage space well and use resources. The overall averages are getting closer and very low. So this is a failure to consider in the study region, whatever is the size of the farm. Now let's move to the third component, which is agricultural component. For the component agricultural practices, the farm size factor has a considerable influence. Indeed, large farms invest more in new technology and practices. As for small farms, they have remained traditional and have inherited agricultural practices. Now let's move to the results related to socio-territorial scale. This scale is composed of three components: quality of product and terroirs, colored in green, employment and services in yellow, and ethics and human development in blue color. The averages of the score of the indicators of the first component, quality of products, are very low for all the groups. In fact, there is no importance to the quality approach by the farmers and the promotion of products according to standards and labels, which is a problem. Size slightly affects the employment and services component, especially the indicators that promote autonomy and good management of natural and human resources. 4. Rainwater harvesting, seed autonomy, use of renewable energy, autonomy in fertilizers and food from the livestock, as well as multifunctionality and job creation. The same for the ethic and human development component, which represents the moral and ethical responsibilities of the farmer. Large farms stand out thanks to indicators related to livestock activity and staff training. Now let's move to the third scale, which is economical scale. The economical scale is composed of these four components: viability, independency, transmissibility, and efficiency. The economical viability component expresses the economic efficiency in managing the income. The notes are almost equal, sanctioned by a low rate of speciation, especially for small farms, because turnover is not diversified. In fact, more than 50% of the turnover for the small farms comes only from a single client. For independency, the independency component expresses the degree of adaptation to risks in funding and aid. This reflects financial autonomy. Degree. Acceptable averages are for the three groups of farms. This reflects an acceptable flexibility with regard to bank loans. Some farmers refuse bank loans out of religion conviction. Similarly, they are not very sensitive to aid and subsidize. The transmissibility component is very low for the three groups, and the best is recorded with large farms whose transfer of capital and assets after the death of the farmer or after cessation of the activity is guaranteed by the government or by the other shareholders of the company. But it's not the case for the small farms. Small farms are family farms, and they are owned and inherited, from which there is not always a successor. That's why transmissibility is not good for small farms. As for efficiency component represents the technical efficiency of processing inputs, the transformation from inputs into outputs. Highest rating among medium-sized farms and lowest among large farms due to the significant operational load associated with processing, marketing, and casual labor. In conclusion, we can say that at the scale level, the overall scores for each group are positively affected by the total size of the farm. However, detailed analysis of indicator and component scores have shown that area is not always a positive factor in sustainability, and in some cases it is even a limiting factor, especially for small-sized farms. We can therefore note that despite these differences in the averages of the indicators, the overall sustainability of large and medium-sized farms with areas exceeding 10 hectares is better. However, It is useful to take advantage of the failures detected in the various indicators and components to try to improve production systems and facilitate the transition to sustainable agriculture, capable of combining economic efficiency and reduction of ecological costs. And thank you for your kind attention.